Hey guys, I wanted to put this roadmap together real quick based on what I know about Utah, what I would do to start over the next 1 to 3 years, whatever you can stretch this roadmap out to be, depending on how much help's going to be brought in. But what I'd focus on the first is to establish the delivery excellence for the digital workforce services. And then secondly, to move over to more of an automation and expansion phase. Now, under that, I would have different initiatives so that you can work simultaneously. And the first initiative I would work on is the improve the workforce experience. And improve the workforce experience, I would start out with the Employee Service Center. This is something that Utah already has entitlements to. It would just be a matter of implementing it. And it's not a real heavy lift to get that going. This would give you a much better look on the front end for those employee services. Also, it would give you the ability to have that portal establish a really nice looking portal for incident, for change management, and also for project management. And that's the other one I have down here, standardized idea and demand intake. So we'd want to bring that project management interface into that employee service center, along with your regular incident and request management for things like computers and software. That'll go real nicely with the phase they're finishing up with software asset management as well. Down the road, once you get the portal in really nice shape and we get the right request set up, then we can look at the chatbot, expanding the channels into the chatbot services. Once everything's running nice with the chatbot in the portal, then we can start to introduce some of the departmental services that we've been talking about, like those of agriculture. If they want to move custom applications into the portal, and those custom applications are going to deliver certain services for the employees, we'll want to make that available through that new employee service center. After that, we can move into some of the bigger departmental services. I would look to a CGI integration, especially after they get to the CGI SaaS, and we can use the APIs to integrate and support employee onboarding. Employee onboarding is really great at this point because that's where you bring asset management together with that newly deployed CGI SaaS model. After that, we can expand those employee services on the HR side into doing different campaigns such as open enrollment. Also on the bottom, I have facilities. We haven't talked much about facilities, but usually when we're looking at an overall application modernization effort, we're also looking at workplace services. Especially as this is changing with everybody working from home, there's a lot of space reservations because people aren't in the office all the time. So when they come in, they might want to reserve a cubicle or they might want to reserve an office or a conference room. So that's going to be a really important piece to supporting that 75% work remote initiative. On the benefits summary here, you'll see we're definitely going to focus on improved experience. We're going to definitely focus on the single service portal interface. Also, what I mentioned in the beginning, that support for the remote work. So this is all about the employee experience across all the different aspects of the services throughout Utah. At the same time, this is more of the improving the velocity because there's three main things you want to always look at. A, I want to improve the experience. B, I want to increase the velocity of the services. And C, I want to get more data on those services so that I can deliver them better. When I have this increased velocity, one of the things we can do, there's a new program where we can take the procurement piece of projects and integrate that with ServiceNow Project. This is a really nice complement to what we're doing here to try to improve project delivery and also to get centralized IT involved in the processing of all those project requests. The next thing I want to do is actively manage the vendors and the digital portfolios. This is where you really take a perspective where you want to measure things. I want to measure the services that I'm delivering. I want to see how many people are using them. I want to see what the scores are for satisfaction. So this is where what I call active management of the services. That's actually measuring services. How are we doing on incident management? How are we doing on the procurement for new laptops? How are we doing on all of those things across HR, across IT, and even those custom applications that we're talking about at the department level? The next I have is enterprise position and transitions. This is where we really get into looking at how people move across the enterprise and as they change from one place to another or when they're new employees. Because the first thing we want to look at is onboarding. We want to make sure those processes are all in place. And as I said up top, we have that new experience in the portal. but that starts with getting the processes right on the back end. So that's why this one starts before this one up top. And then I have streamlining facilities, and that goes hand in hand with our facility space and move management. And then down on the bottom, this is a big piece of training the workforce. ServiceNow does have a low-code capability so that we can train employees to build their own applications. This citizen development will get them 80% of the way there with most applications, 100% with some of the simple applications, to where they can put those requests in through the portal, and then they'll be able to receive those requests and provide a response. Those are the types of agricultural applications we're looking at. It might be a good first candidate for a custom application. Again, if we're going to want to introduce some of those new services into the employee portal here, we're going to want to start training and empowering employees back here so that we're ready to deliver up here by the time we get to stage 4. And finally, at the bottom, we didn't discuss this much in our meeting, but I also added the elevating of security. Because we're looking at employees and we're looking at assets. I know we're working on asset management right now with software and hardware. We're going to be able to augment the security practices that are in place now and help with security incident prioritization, because we'll know the assets. If we know that an asset belongs to a particular service that's important, such as a financial asset or an asset where we're something mission critical, we'll want to make sure that that asset, that incident on the asset, gets priority over other assets. And so that's where our configuration management will really come in handy. The same with vulnerability remediation. We can help in pretty much the same way. We can say these vulnerabilities on these critical assets are definitely a priority over these other vulnerabilities. Also, as we move forward, knowing those assets and what applications they belong to, the application risk becomes another factor, which is a more advanced security feature where we look at the vulnerabilities on the hardware and the software, but looking at the vulnerabilities at the application level and knowing the priority of that application is something ServiceNow can help with in that security practice longer term. Going forward, once we have all those mitigation strategies for vulnerabilities and resolving incidents faster, the integrated risk is a really nice fit to augment that, because now we can mitigate the risks on our locations, on our applications, or on the assets that we've defined in those earlier versions. And as I said, I know we have some asset management things in play right now, so that would be kind of a stage -1, I would say, because that's a lot of what's getting done today. And that's how I would look at the next roadmap. And I said this might be a 1-year roadmap, this might be a 3-year roadmap, depending on how much people we're going to get to help along the way, or how much external services we're going to call in. Certainly something that we can help with in our impact offering. Hopefully this helps. Thank you very much.